The lights illuminates here at the Sochi Autodrome for the Russian Grand Prix. It is lights out and away we go. He did set the fast lap, Lewis Hamilton's beating that, but he is pulling away from the rest of the field. He is in control of this race, 3 seconds ahead of Lewis Hamilton in second position. Lewis Hamilton has actually managed to close the 3-second lead that Sebastian has in previous 5 laps, and Sebastian going very wide. If he exits that corner, Hamilton actually trying to make a move for the lead. Yes, he will be entering the pits for this lap, so this is very crucial. Could this be a poor decision for Sebastian to pit on this lap for another set of the option tyres? But going down the straight now, moving to the inside line, and his teammate on the prime tyres and slightly warm prime tyres as well, just couldn't really fight to that, and Sebastian Vettel moves into a podium position. And he will have a DRS on his championship rival Rosberg down the straight now. Is he going to make a move? He's Rosberg just ahead. He's got the DRS, and Rosberg putting no fight up to his championship rival. And Vettel moves into second position into the penultimate corner. Could Sebastian try and make a move? He's having a look at the inside into the final corner. Hamilton goes slightly wide, and Vettel takes the lead just before the final of the Grand Prix. Sebastian exits the final corner and takes the victory here in Russia, his 6th win of the season.
Welcome to today's practice session here in Austin, Texas.
No, I'm sorry, Dave and Anthony. I'm not listening to you anymore in this series. You're sacked. You're not commentating at all for the remainder of this series. I don't want you to. You can just leave. I just don't want you to in this. Bugger off. Hey, what's up? It is Dan or DMan96 here, and welcome back to Sebastian's Return to Glory, and we are here for the US Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas. And as you can probably tell, I am changing up the intros because who really wants to listen to those two commentate? No one. Right? Okay. So, last time out at the Russian Grand Prix, we saw Sebastian Vettel take a fantastic victory just before the final lap started off one of his rivals, Lewis Hamilton. You can see him on the screen right now. I'm sure he'll be gunning for a win today. And I'm sure Sebastian will be as well, because as we know, there could be a realistic chance Sebastian could be securing the title at the Mexican Grand Prix if he has a good result here in Austin. So he is hoping to get another win, beat his closest rival Nico Rosberg. But before we actually start with the race, let's go into the qualifying report. America hosts the next round of the Formula 1 World Championship for its 4th race at the Circuit of the Americas. With an opportunity to win the Drivers' Championship at the next round, can Sebastian Vettel make the most of his 30-point lead over Nico Rosberg as qualifying began? Roberto Merri was the better of the 2 Manor drivers this weekend as the team continued its pointless season at the back of the grid. Fernando Alonso struggled in the McLaren, lining up 18th, whilst Jenson Button managed to make Q2, albeit in 15th. Lotus would suffer a disappointing session with Grosjean 17th and Maldonado 14th. Marcus Ericsson manages a solid 11th place and out-qualifying teammate Nasser in 13th. Carlos Sainz wasn't too pleased with his 12th place, however for Max Verstappen he placed his Toro Rosso in 9th, making it a good qualifying session for the young Dutchman. Sergio Perez equals his best qualifying performance in 8th, whilst a majorly disappointing session for Nico Hülkenberg saw him fail to leave Q1 in 16th. It was mixed feelings at Williams, with Valtteri Bottas starting 5th, but a spin for Felipe Massa cost him of a good qualifying position and leaves him down in 10th. A good session for Red Bull sees Danny Kvyat in 6th, 1 position ahead of teammate Daniel Ricciardo. Vettel in 3rd leads an all-Ferrari 2nd row of the grid, ending their former pole positions. This means that it will be Mercedes locking out the front row and Lewis Hamilton taking pole position for the first time since the Hungarian Grand Prix. So looking back at the top 10, it's Felipe Massa who starts in 10th after his mistake, behind Max Verstappen and an impressive Sergio Perez in 8th. The 2 Red Bulls line up in 6th and 7th, with Danny Kvyat sharing the 3rd row of Valtteri Bottas in 5th. Ferrari failed to make the front row for the first time since Hungary, and it will be Lewis Hamilton occupying pole position ahead of teammate Nico Rosberg for the US Grand Prix. So it's 3rd place on the grid for Sebastian Vettel, the first time he hasn't made the front row since Hungary, and it looks like it's going to be a 3-stop strategy for this weekend, as you see on the screen. But the lights are about to go out here at the Circuit of the Americas. We're racing here At Austin, Texas, a good start for Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. Vettel getting off to a poor start alongside the Williams of Valtteri Bottas, but he dives back at the inside of Raikkonen going into turn 1, and he takes back third position. Lewis Hamilton leads with Rosberg second, Vettel in third as Raikkonen fends off Danny Kvyat going down to turn 2 to retake fourth position, going into the chicanes for 2 Mercedes, followed by the 2 Ferraris and the 2 Red Bull drivers. As it's still Lewis Hamilton that leads, but Vettel is very close behind Nico Rosberg. As you see now, going into the right-hander, just finishing off sector 1. And Vettel still keeping up to Nico Rosberg, so it looks like he could challenge him later on in the race. Going onto the main DRS straight now, it's still Mercedes 1-2 for the time being, but can Vettel catch up? He's right up with Nico Rosberg. He could look for an overtaking opportunity later on in the Grand Prix. Moving on to lap 3 now. Nothing really happened in on the previous lap, but Raikkonen has dropped off the pace at the top 3. Hamilton, Rosberg and Vettel have just been pulling away from the rest of the field, and Vettel will get the DRS on Nico Rosberg, but it's not really going to help because he had a poor exit out of that corner, and Rosberg will have the DRS on Lewis Hamilton going down this very long straight. But no, he just can't make an impact on the Team Mercedes cars. It seems that they have a superior pace around the circuits of the Americas. Now moving on to lap 5, and it's going to be a very early pit stop. As you can probably tell, the tyres have gone off quite early, and Sebastian going on lap 5 for a very early pit stop could be a risky decision. He goes into the pits now to fit another set of the option tyres on. I don't know why he just decided a very early pit stop. The tyres went off very quickly, like I mentioned earlier, but he is, like I said, pitting on for the option tyres. He exits the pit lane now. He's going to rejoin behind this train of 4 cars going down the pit straight right now. He's going to rejoin ahead of Sergio Perez in 8th position as he goes towards turn 1. Or is he? Because Perez is going to be side by side with forcing the driver, but no, he stays ahead of Perez and he rejoins still in the points, but with clear air, as he can use that to try and make the undercut work on the 2 Mercedes drivers. Now moving on to the end of the lap, and he's got a I think one of the Mercedes are going to be in the pits this lap. There are a lot of drivers in the pits. Is one of them Lewis Hamilton or Nico Rosberg as he crosses the start-finish line now? There is someone. That is Lewis Hamilton. So he has slightly caught up to Lewis Hamilton. Nico Rosberg choosing the interesting tactic to stay out. And there is Lewis Hamilton in 6th position. So can Vettel try and catch him and get past Lewis Hamilton as we go onto the cinematic shot now into the chicanes. And Vettel is catching up to Lewis Hamilton. There are the 2 Red Bull cars as well, who I also believe haven't pitted yet. But Vettel all over the back of Lewis Hamilton, tried to make a move around the outside here, at the inside line, going to the next corner, almost touching each other as they go into the left-hander. Side by side, Vettel forced wide slightly, but Lewis Hamilton keeping the inside line. Vettel will switch to the inside line, going into the corner before the DRS straight, and he takes the line perfectly. He moves into 6th position, and that is 2nd place at the minute on the track. We don't know if Nico Rosberg will rejoin in the lead after his pit stop, but as we see now onto the start of lap 8, and Vettel going wide at the exit of the final corner. Hamilton moves back into 6th position, but it will be 2nd position. So a lot of cars in the pits. Kimi Raikkonen is one of them, and the 2 Red Bull cars are just up the road as well. But Vettel is now in 4th position. It looks like that someone's taking the lead. I think that might be Nico Rosberg ahead of the 2 Red Bull cars. So as Nico Rosberg managed to make an overcut stick on Lewis Hamilton and actually leapfrogging to take the lead of the Grand Prix. Well, obviously we don't know yet if it is Nico Rosberg, but as Vettel moves up the inside of Danny Kvyat, we can see a Mercedes just ahead, but it is Nico Rosberg, and he has made that overcut stick to absolute perfection. As we move on to the start of lap 9, just at the end of lap 8, Daniel Ricciardo nearly brake checking Sebastian Vettel, his former teammate. Vettel moves into 2nd position, and Nico Rosberg is quite a way ahead. Vettel given a warning there for collision with the Red Bull driver. As we start the next lap, Nico Rosberg is 3 seconds ahead of Sebastian Vettel. But can Vettel keep up? The tyres do go off quickly around the circuit of America's very high tyre wear track, it seems, as Vettel goes in for his 2nd pit stop for another set of the option tyres. Lewis Hamilton goes past as well. Kimi Raikkonen also does. And there is Vettel just pitting for another set of the option tyres. Still quite a long way to go in this race. And the tyre wear is strong around this track as Vettel's had to make 2 pit stops before half race distance. And he will be pitting on for the prime tyres for his final stop later in the Grand Prix. He joins behind Felipe Massa. But now on to lap 14. Valtteri Bottas and Kimi Raikkonen are in the pits. But I don't think this has worked for Sebastian, as this has just allowed Rosberg to extend his lead at the front. And he's quite a way behind Nico Rosberg now as we just cross halfway distance point. Nico Rosberg sets the fastest lap of the race. Vettel crosses the start finish line now. Lewis Hamilton is still right close behind him as well. But Rosberg is 8 seconds ahead, so I don't think the strategy just worked at all for Sebastian, and it's allowed Nico Rosberg to pull away from the current championship leader. And this is important for Rosberg's championship campaign as Vettel goes wide just before he enters the activation points, and there's Lewis Hamilton switching to the inside line, and he will move ahead into second position. But Vettel won't be giving up here. He will be moving to the inside line, going into the left-hander on the man that beat him to the 2012 US Grand Prix. Vettel going very, very wide on the exit. He mistimed that braking point completely. Somehow he's made the position stick. I think Vettel's just really struggling around this track. It's definitely not one of the strongest ones. He's only won here once before. But as we move on to lap 18, tyres are going off yet again, so it could be another pit stop very soon as Lewis Hamilton, with the better traction, the better grip, moves in back into second position. So this battle for second seems to be more exciting than what's happening out in front as Nico Rosberg just pulling away. As Vettel somehow managed to keep hold of second position. But here's the interesting thing now. Vettel goes into the pits. So does Lewis Hamilton. He follows him in. Kimi Raikkonen goes round to take second position as Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel will pit on the same lap together. Both in their pit boxes now. Who is going to emerge ahead? Both will be fitting the prime tyres on. And there's Lewis Hamilton in the pits. He's overtaken Vettel in the pit stops. What a good strategic call for Lewis Hamilton. He's ahead of Sebastian Vettel. So now it's going to be a battle on the track between Lewis and Sebastian for second position. Nico Rosberg is certainly going to win this race, it seems. He has pulled up a massive margin to these two. Sebastian will be hoping to get second, otherwise the gap will be reduced to 20 points. He goes up the inside of Lewis Hamilton for a net second position, fourth on the track. Obviously Bottas and Raikkonen haven't pitted yet, but going now onto lap 20, there is Kimi Raikkonen exiting the pit lane. He's going to be undercut on Hamilton and Vettel. Kimi Raikkonen has joined this battle for second position, and that is a big disaster for Sebastian. A brilliant strategy call for Kimi. He's ahead of Lewis, ahead of Sebastian, and Vettel there trying to desperately get past Kimi Raikkonen. Lewis Hamilton goes through on Sebastian Vettel, and Vettel now dropping down to fourth position. This race has gone from bad to worse for Sebastian Vettel. He's desperately trying to make a move on Hamilton now, and he does it for third position. Vettel moves back into third. He's right behind Kimi Raikkonen, and he desperately needs to get past. I don't think there's going to be any use of team orders here from Ferrari. I think Vettel will have to try and battle Raikkonen on the track. But now moving back into lap 21, Kimi Raikkonen is still in second position. There is a back marker at Roberto Merri in the manor just ahead, and he lets both the Ferrari drivers through. But Vettel, this is one of the sections that he has been strong at all weekend, and he could use this to his advantage and get past Kimi Raikkonen. But Raikkonen's still ahead. Vettel can't keep close enough to his teammates to make a pass. As we move on to the next lap now, he's going to try again at the chicanes, but he needs to finish in second position. Otherwise, Nico Rosberg will close the gap back down to 20 points, what it was after the Japanese Grand Prix. But this time he is really close to his teammate now. He is going to try and make the move around the outside, and he's done it for second position. Raikkonen drops back down to third, and now it's looking like it's going to be a great battle here between the two Ferraris, as we've seen in Italy and in Singapore. Vettel going wide at that corner. That's one of the corners he's been struggling at this race. Raikkonen moves through the DRS. Hamilton moves through the DRS. It's going to be now going down to turn 1. Vettel's going to have to make another lunge going up to turn 1. He gets back past Lewis Hamilton. He gets back past Kimi Raikkonen slightly. I don't know if that was corner cutting at turn 1. He also gets past Max Verstappen as well, and this will help him as he will hold up the two cars behind him. Raikkonen, but now onto the penultimate lap. There is Raikkonen with the DRS again, on the DRS straight this time. Vettel switching back to the inside line. Lewis Hamilton's also right behind. Vettel going at the inside, he just hasn't got past him yet. Side by side, the two Ferrari drivers. He's going to have to try and make it round the hard way, round the outside. He's done it just before turn 17, but Raikkonen trying to hold on again. Raikkonen holds on to position. Vettel goes round the inside line this time, and he moves back in a second. Bit of contact, I thought I saw there, but no, Vettel holds on to second place. Raikkonen still in third. We've still got one more lap to go. Anything can happen. There's an intense battle for second here at the Circuit of the Americas. As we start the final lap now, Raikkonen goes up the inside of turn 1, and it looks like that Raikkonen's actually done it this time to take the second place of the Grand Prix. Vettel keeping up with his teammates as we go into the chicanes. This is Vettel's strong point, like I mentioned earlier. He's also got to be careful with the tyre wear as well as he closes back on Kimi Raikkonen. He's got the inside line, he takes back second place, and now he's just got to drive the rest of the lap and try and hold on to a fast charging Kimi Raikkonen and an extremely fast charging Lewis Hamilton as well, with worn tyres. As we go on to the DRS straight again, Raikkonen's going to try once more down the inside. He takes second position. Vettel braking very late once again. He goes wide. Hamilton takes Raikkonen. Hamilton's up to third position, but I think Vettel might just be able to hold on. Meanwhile, Nico Rosberg's driven a fantastic race, a dominant drive to win at the Circuit of Americas and keep his championship chances alive. But we're back with this battle for second. Vettel still leads Lewis Hamilton going into the final corner, and he's missed out this braking point. I think yes, he's gone one final corner. Hamilton's the inside line. It's going to be side by side to the line, but somehow Hamilton's taken it. So close, but in the end it was half a tenth of a second separating Hamilton and Vettel. That mistake at the final corner really cost him, and it's also allowed Nico Rosberg to close the gap in the championship by 10 points. So the gap is now what it was after the Japanese Grand Prix. And as we have a look at the Drivers' Championship, it also means that Sebastian Vettel can't secure the championship in Mexico, but with a good result, he'll have a very good chance to secure it at the Brazilian Grand Prix next time out. Lewis Hamilton still in third, 65 points off the lead, so his championship chances look pretty slim now. It looks like it's going to be between Vettel and Rosberg for the drivers, but as we have a look at the Constructors' Championship, the gap between Mercedes and Ferrari is 28 points, so I think Ferrari needs some sort of miracle if they want any chance of clinching the Constructors' Championship, and their first since 2008. So, but I really hope you guys enjoyed this race today. Now, it's time to move on to the podium. So what an important win it is for Nico Rosberg. He takes win number 5 and closes the gap to 20 points in the championship. Can he still win the World Drivers' Championship, or will it be this man taking his 5th world title? We'll see what happens next time, but I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you have, please leave a like, comment down below and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Until next time guys, this has been DMath96, and I'll catch you guys next time for the return of the Mexican Grand Prix.